The color you never see. What's quietly stealing your koi's beauty and growth. They swim. They eat. They look okay. But deep down, you know something's missing. That vibrant red used to glow. That body used to grow faster. That energy, they had it once. And now, it's not the same. You've changed food, checked water, adjusted everything you could. But the problem isn't always what you notice. It's what you don't. Because koi don't scream for help. They signal through silence, through color fade, through stillness. And most of us don't listen soon enough. This isn't a list of tips. It's an exposure of unseen causes, light, stress, timing, rhythm, and how they quietly dictate your koi's future. It's time to stop guessing. Let's uncover the real reasons behind your koi's decline, before more beauty fades. Chapter 1. When great bloodlines fall flat. I still remember the day I brought them home. 3 koi, siblings from a champion bloodline. Their patterns were perfect, their movement graceful. I imagined the pond 6 months later, all of them glowing, growing, impressing everyone who stopped to look. But that didn't happen. One flourished. It grew fast. Its colors deepened with every sunrise. The other 2, shrinking in the background, washed out, still small, still timid. I blamed myself. Maybe I picked the wrong fish. Maybe I got unlucky. But the breeder said something that stuck with me. Good koi are born, but great koi are raised. That was the turning point. I began digging into water quality. I measured light exposure. I adjusted feeding strategies and monitored temperature. Slowly, I realized it wasn't about bad genetics. It was about conditions that didn't let the genetics shine. The truth is, koi are mirrors of their environment. Their DNA gives them potential, but it's your choices, every day, that decide whether that potential becomes visible. Breeders don't rely on pedigree alone. They engineer conditions that bring out every hidden color, every growth spurt, every behavior shift. So if your koi aren't what you hoped for, don't give up. Don't blame their bloodline. Ask yourself instead, have I created a space where excellence can surface? Because even the best koi won't shine if the pond is holding them back. Chapter 2. The beauty lost beneath the surface. They were once dazzling. Their red was fierce like fire. Their black, bold like ink. And the white, clean as snow. You used to admire them every morning, watching light dance on their scales. But now something feels dull. Not broken, not sick, just muted. And you can't figure out why. You haven't changed their food. The water is clean. The filter runs fine. But koi color doesn't vanish all at once. It fades quietly, like a painting left too long in the sun. The culprit may not be what you've done wrong, but what you've overlooked. Color in koi depends on the tiniest things. Stable minerals in the water, balanced GH and KH levels, freedom from chlorine and trace metals. All of it invisible. All of it essential. Even your tap water, clear and safe, might be bleaching away brilliance one drop at a time. The koi don't complain. They don't thrash. They simply lose a little more color each week, until one day you can't remember how vibrant they used to be. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility now, because you're not just keeping water clean, you're protecting living color. So before you blame genetics or age or brand, test deeper. Look beneath the calm. Your koi deserve more than clarity. They deserve chemistry that honors their brilliance. Chapter 3. The pond feels everything. Your pond is quiet. The water ripples gently. The koi glide through it like whispers in motion. To you, it feels peaceful. But to them, it may be a battlefield you cannot hear. Because koi don't only swim. They sense every vibration, every echo, every ripple. They feel the hum of a nearby pump, the sudden change in temperature when clouds shift, the tension when one koi rises fast and others hesitate. And in those tiny moments, growth can pause. Koi don't grow when they're uncertain. They don't develop when they're uneasy. Even if they eat, even if they surface, inside, their systems begin to hold back. Stress doesn't have to roar to do damage. Sometimes it just lingers, like background noise in a room you've forgotten is loud. A koi that doesn't grow isn't always weak. It may simply be tired of bracing for what it cannot explain. Watch the one that feeds last. Watch the one that floats near the wall. Watch the one that rises, then changes its mind. Growth doesn't fade because of food alone. It fades in ponds where koi must always stay alert. Create stillness. Create rhythm. Create space. Because your koi can't tell you they're stressed. But their size will show it. Chapter 4. Where did the glow go? You remember how they used to look. That vivid red that caught the morning light. The ink-black patches that shimmered with power. The white, like porcelain on water. But now it's different. The glow is gone. You try to convince yourself it's the season, the food, the water. But have you ever thought, maybe it's the light itself? Not the absence of it, but the way it touches them. Your pond may be full of sunshine, but koi don't just need light, they need the right kind. Natural light that shifts with the day, filtered through leaves or water movement. Light that mimics what evolution built them for. Instead, many ponds are filled with glare. Harsh overhead beams. Static shadows that never move. And sometimes, lights stay on long after the sun has set, bright, artificial, unrelenting. This isn't beauty. To a koi, it's fatigue. Their pigment cells, the ones that make them glow, don't just stop, they retreat. They dull. They flatten. And over time, the masterpiece you once had starts to look like a faded photo. Not because you stopped caring, but because you didn't see how the pond's mood changed. Colors don't fade from neglect. They fade when light turns from friend to foe. Bring back the dance of shade and sun. Let the light be soft again. And watch them glow like they used to. Chapter 5. The Weight of Good Intentions. You feed them because you care. Because they rise when they see you. Because their joy feels like a mirror of your own. But koi don't grow from love alone. And sometimes what we give with the best of intentions holds them back. It starts slow. A handful too many. A second feeding, just in case. They eat it, of course. They always do. But not all of it goes where you think. Too much food clogs the system, inside and out. The pond fogs. The filter struggles. The balance tilts. Inside their bodies, the surplus becomes weight, not strength. Fat, not form. They swell, but they don't shine. What you meant as care becomes clutter. What should have built them up begins to wear them down. And the hardest part, they'll keep swimming to the surface. They'll keep asking, because they don't know how to say, enough. So you must learn to listen not with your eyes, but with your understanding. Feed for their future, not your moment. Feed with rhythm, not emotion. Feed like you're tuning an instrument, not stuffing a bag. Because koi don't grow from abundance. They grow from harmony. Chapter 6. The calm they crave. You've tried everything. You've changed filters, switched foods, studied the lighting, read the water like a sacred text. But still something feels unfinished. Not wrong, just not quite right. Maybe it's time to stop looking for new tools and start looking at your habits. Because koi don't bloom in bursts of attention. They grow in the calm repetition of care. They remember when food comes. They feel when the water holds steady. They notice when the flow doesn't change, when the shadows follow the same path every day. That's what gives them confidence to grow. That's what helps them invest energy in becoming more, not in bracing for what's next. You don't need more gear. You need more regularity. You don't need to chase perfection. You need to protect what already works. Your koi aren't asking for miracles. They're asking for rhythm, predictability, simplicity. Not because they're fragile, but because they're wise in the way only animals can be. They trust what stays true. So next time you step out to the pond, don't ask what to change. Ask, what can I keep steady? Because in that stillness, your koi will begin to move forward again. Beneath the surface, a story unfolds. In every pond lies a mystery. Not one of danger, but of detail. Of tiny variables, subtle shifts, overlooked rhythms. Koi do not grow louder to call for help. They grow quieter. They slow. They dim. They wait. And in that waiting, they ask a simple question. Can you see me, beyond the surface? What this journey has shown is that koi keeping is never just about filtration or food. It's about awareness. It's about choosing patience over panic, stillness over stimulation, and harmony over haste. For those who are willing to slow down and listen, the pond will speak. Not in words, but in color, in health, in life. And the koi, those elegant, silent dancers, will respond not to how much you change, but to how deeply you understand. So now, we leave the checklist behind. We step away from formulas and return to the edge of the water, not as managers, but as companions. Because beneath the surface, a story is always unfolding. And now, you finally know how to read it.